Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first session here at the on Tuesday afternoon at the beautiful Petit Paris. My name is Jasmine Katami, and I'm very pleased to welcome at my side Christoph Donnemiller. He is the head of sales and marketing. We just had a discussion about the new title, the head of sales
Has
and
changed
marketing.
recently.
It just has changed recently of PartnerGate, which is based in Munich, and he will talk to us about the real cost behind cheap domain prices. You're very welcome to ask questions afterwards, and I would say this is your audience, this is your stage. Christoph, what do you have for us?
Thank you very much. Yes, welcome to everybody to the start of the hosting sessions. I think this is the first round. I'm glad that so many attended, and although the sun is shining outside, that you decided to come here and listen to something that might be of interest to you. I want to talk today a little bit about the real cost behind cheap domain prices. My name has already been mentioned, my function as well. Just a few words about PartnerGate, who we are. We're based in Munich. We're a domain registrar. We have more than 16 years of experience in this industry. We currently manage more than 800,000 domains from our clients, and we're approximately 20 employees working out of Munich. Prices, domain prices. Wherever you look, you find a website for sure where you find the cheapest domain price. Very often, people approaching our stand or people I'm talking to mention as the first issue when we speak about domains, it's all about price. You need to give me the best price. This is the most important thing in conjunction with domains. But is it really price only? Is price the major issue in regards to that? Isn't it more about the cost associated with domains? Support. I mean, you have clients, you have resellers, you have customers that need support in conjunction with domains possibly. If they want to register something and not everything runs through smoothly, you will have to provide support to them. So this is a major issue for you to worry about, and it's an issue that easily can create heavy cost. The operations. I mean, you have to run your system, you have to run a domain name management system, you have to run a user interface for your clients. That has to be either programmed or you take it from somebody. Think about the processes involved around domain name management. I mean, there are several pieces within your organization and within your structure that are touched by this. It's billing, it's accounting, it's several pieces that have to be considered when you think about doing this. Think about your staff. I mean, you have to have people worrying about that. People are involved in setting it up, in working with the clients, in getting it to run smoothly. And last but not least, I mean, buying them is one thing, but selling domains is another important issue. You have to worry about getting them presented in a way that your customers will register them, and you will even make more money with selling additional domains. So you see, there are various areas you have to look at when you think about the total cost associated with domains. But let's take a closer look. Let's start with support. Who's really doing the work in conjunction with domain names? Who's the person, who are the people involved in that? Does your registrar provide the staff you need for that? Do they have the training and the experience you need? Do you get unlimited support from your partner? Is there a limitation possibly? Do you have to pay for support? Do you get it? And if you get it, do you get it in time? I mean, sometimes you cannot wait for hours or even days to get the feedback. You need to get feedback sometimes very quickly in order to move around. And if you get the feedback, I mean, do you get a yes or no? Or do you get complete answers? Do you get the feedback you need, the feedback who is required to answer the question of your clients? Let's take an example. I mean, it's always helpful to see it with an example, and I'll take a real example. Imagine one of your customers want to register a .no domain. Who knows what .no stands for? I know there will be people knowing that. Who knows the prerequisites associated with registering a .no domain? The same, so you must be a registrar, I assume. Good. But simply, sometimes it is very difficult to figure out in more detail. So imagine you're doing the work and you're not experienced, you don't know where you find it. So if you're doing the work, first you need to figure out, where do I find this information? Where do I find the details that are necessary to register such a domain? You possibly Google it, you look up at certain websites, but you have to look. Is it in the right language? I mean, .no is for Norway. Is it only available in Norwegian, or do you find an English presentation as well? Is the information in a way you're able to understand? Is it not cryptical? Sometimes it's very difficult to understand that. Sometimes you read through it, but you still haven't gotten what they want to do. Do you possibly need specific forms or applications that are required with registering such a domain? Lots of questions. Let's say, I'm making this up now, but it can take you up to an hour possibly. If you don't have any clue where to look, it can take you time to figure out all of this information. And depending who within your organization has to do that, it of course produces cost. And I set this up as well. If it's a support person or a help desk person, it's possibly only 35 euro. If it's the owner itself, or if it's a management person, it can easily be up to 300 euro. So quite some money. How is the same case if you work with an expert? I mean, what you do is you contact your dedicated support team. I mean, you know the people within your partner, and you leave a message or drop the request. And what you get, you receive a personalized feedback. I mean, you get people answering in person, and you receive the complete information that is required. For example, I asked about .no before. As I mentioned, it's the CCTLD for Norway. It can .no itself, the top level, can only be registered by companies who are listed in the Norwegian Register of Companies. A maximum of 100 domains can be registered per registrant. You cannot register more than 100. If you're a private person, or if you don't have a subsidiary in Norway, you can register a .co.no domain without any restrictions. So that is an answer which helps you to move ahead. And if you get that, you invest possibly less than 5 minutes for writing an email or calling somebody, and your invest is 3 to 25 euro, taking about the same range we mentioned before. And now imagine this happens once a month, twice a month, every month. What is the money spent you have for solving the issue by yourself, and the money savings associated if you have somebody else taking care for that? We at PartnerGate, we offer a team of domain experts, people that have in-depth knowledge about domain names, that are in the industry for some time. So you get competent and full feedback. And of course timely, within a couple of business hours, and sometimes even less. We are more than 16 years in the industry. We are ICANN accredited. We hold several CCTLD accreditations. We are in several industry organizations like ECO, like RIPE, and other ones. So we're well connected within the industry. And we're offering more than 300 TLDs currently. And it's not only the offering, it's also, we have a documentation, especially for our partner, which is our TLD wiki, that contains all the information that is required in order to know all these details, like I mentioned for .no at the beginning. Okay, the next step is how I sell my domains. You possibly offer it in conjunction with your products, but are you really reaching your potential? Is this what you do enough? Do you have a web or a user interface that is easy for your clients, that they can use it and they can register domains easily, or is it cumbersome, or is it not easy for them to use? Do you work with resellers, or do you have a reseller interface that will add to your sales power and you will reach out even further? And what if you provide to your clients a system or a tool that not only says your domain name is available or not, it also gives you alternatives if a domain name is not available. So you get more alternatives and you can select as a client, oh, this sounds interesting. The desired is no longer available, but I get another one, which is great. I'm going to take that. We offer a complete domain name management system with a very intuitive web interface. With the design from our system, we were taking care that it's easy to use and not lots of technical functionalities. It's more that the user interface is easy, and that even people who do not have in-depth domain knowledge can work with it. We have a reseller system integrated that can be customized to your needs, so you can have your company logo on top of it, and that can help you as well to address additional clients. We have today clients that were only able, by use of our reseller system, to fulfill their customer demands. I mean, if you have large corporates that want to have their own access to their domain portfolio, you have to have somehow an access to that, and that's what is included in this reseller system. But that's not everything. We have, in addition, a partner program that is released to be soon, that will help you to promote and market domains. That it has marketing campaigns, we can do promotions together, and there are sales tools that help you to resell domains to your potential clients. Maybe you're a web hoster and you say, well, I don't want the user interface. I have my own web interface and my customer interface. I want to integrate domain name management into my application. I don't worry about your interface. I want to integrate. So mostly this is done via an API. Mostly you use a SOAP XML API. Hopefully that interface gives you all the features you need in order to make it work. In addition, if you implement, you would need support from the people that have designed the API, and that you have access to the development resources that they can help you during the implementation phase. What we offer is we have a feature-rich, we have two APIs. We have the SOAP XML API and the Mail API that helps you to easily integrate domain name management into your customer application. We have a detailed documentation available that can be downloaded and can be accessible, and gives you all the descriptions, even some samples for implementations, so that you don't have to program everything by yourself. You can just take what it has already been set up. And you will get direct support from the people that have developed this API. So you will have access to the developers, and they will help you to implement this into your own system. Another important bit is operations. What do I mean with operations? And I'm focusing on one issue here. You may have decided to become a registrar already. So you have a DNIC or FNIC or whatever accreditation by yourself, because you have enough domain names under this TLD that you decided, I'm going to do that. Or you're thinking about doing this because the number of TLDs or the number of domains you have is high enough, but you haven't really done it because you weren't sure, how do I do that? But if you have done, how much time do you invest to maintain your system, to get it, or to have it up and running, to keep it up to the latest status? And also, how many people within your organization have to track changes that might or that definitely occur from the registries? I mean, you have to have somebody that watches what's going on, and if there are changes, you have to implement it. So you have to have people that worry about it and that have to take care about it. Let's compare that. If you're accredited, two models. One is you're self-operating it. So you buy domains directly from the registry, so you get the best price possible from the registry. You have a direct relation with the registry. You take part in their meetings, you can influence decisions, and you have a direct commercial relationship with them. If you don't have the system already, you have to develop it. So you have an initial cost bid. That means, I have to have engineers setting it up and making it happen. And if you have it already, you have to operate it and to maintain it. So there is cost associated with this as well. And last but not least, as I mentioned before, you have to have people doing that. I mean, they have to not only manage the system or operate the system, they have also to monitor any changes that might occur at the registry side. The alternative is to outsource this operation to a registrar like us. You still buy domains at the best price possible directly at the registry. And you keep the relation with the registry. There is no change in that. Well, you do not have to develop your system because you use ours and we provide the system to you for the usage. So that cost disappears. And you also don't need people or staff that watch things going on and possibly even implement changes. So you don't have to do that. A lot of pluses on this side. The only thing you have, of course, is you have a fee associated with using this system. But it's much lesser, in most cases than if you operate it by yourself. With PartnerGate for registrars, we offer a solution that fully integrates the registry of your registry accreditations into a domain name management system. That means you can consolidate all functions into one system, including your own accreditation as well as all the other TLDs. You don't lose your status as a registrar. You keep all the benefits you have and all the rights you have. You're not losing it. And important, you maintain the commercial relationship with the registry, and you do the billing with them. Excuse me. You do the billing, and you have that up and running. And we at PartnerGate, we act as your technical partner, your technical operator. Always get the best price. I mean, that brings me back to the beginning. Excuse me. If you buy products and services, you think I'm always looking for the best, for the cheapest supplier because I'm saving money. And if I have different products, I buy this here and buy this there. Like the picture, you see several bags from several shops because the price is the best there. Have you thought about the fact that using several suppliers add more complexity to your internal processes? I mean, one supplier is one process, several are several processes. And also the other thing is if your staff has to adapt to different user interfaces, different processes from different suppliers, they have to adapt. So that is also not the same as if you keep working with one interface you're familiar with and you know. Consolidation, I think, is the word here to look at. Why? When you consolidate, you minimize the number of internal processes. This, of course, will lead to cost savings for your staff and time savings as well. Thank you very much. One thing is because you have more standardized routines and you don't have different things to do. I mean, you can transport knowledge much easier from one employee to the next because it's standardized and it saves you time and money. And one-stop shopping, which means you can buy several things at one place, reduces the complexity as mentioned before, as well as overhead cost. We provide a one-stop shopping concept where we combine the possibility to source different services through one single interface, to one user interface. If it's a web interface or if it's an API, both is available. You can source domains through that. As I mentioned, more than 300 TLDs. We supply SSL certificates as well, from the easy ones, the domain, from the domain oriented ones to the extended validated certificates. And we also have a outsourced solution for spam and virus protection that reduces the work you have to do at your own premises. And we have additional features that help you to operate and run this more smoothly. Things like the name suggestion tool I mentioned before. Another piece is we are the first CEDO MLS premium partner. That means through our interface you have direct access to the CEDO MLS platform, which allows you to look at a big base of already registered domains that can be bought at a fixed price. So you don't have the negotiation part. You have a fixed price for a domain that has already been registered, and you can buy it easily. And you can also sell domains through that. So that is integrated in the systems. We have a domain vault that allows you to secure very important and very valuable domains with a two-way authentication process. And we also provide trustee and local presence services that help you to get domains registered in countries where you need local presence, for example. And of course, we are able to offer you competitive prices that, and this is the important bit, that are tailored to your needs. So we take the time to sit together and see, where is your market, where are you working, what do you need, so you get a specific quote, and we also align it with needs you have, and include promotions as well. So there's a lot of things that can be done. So if you take all of this together, coming back to what I've said in the beginning, don't look for the best, the cheapest price only. It is all about this total cost of ownership. What does it cost me to run this business or to run this process within my organization? Eliminate expensive support costs that might be hidden somewhere and you don't see it and you possibly don't realize. And as I showed before, it can be costly quickly. Gain extra sales by using a system that helps you to sell domains easier and address new customers. If you have an accreditation, you can outsource it to us, and we can operate it less expensive for you than you possibly can do it by yourself. And you can consolidate your suppliers and control your processes better and save money as well. So you see, there's a lot of things associated with the process that do not necessarily have to do with the price only. Well, the last thing I can do and I want to do is to invite you to come to our stand. We are at the hosting fair, and you've possibly seen the funny man with the cards and the rabbit in his hand. We don't have this guy. We have this guy at our stand. He's not alive. He's on the wall as well. But we have somebody alive. We have a magician. Come to our stand and see David Lavie, who is a magician, and he will demonstrate to you how easy it is to be tricked and how easy it is to not see what you think you have seen. So stop by. It's fun, I tell you, and looking forward to see you there. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, and I'm here to answer any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Christoph. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me, right. Thanks very much for this presentation. If you have any questions or maybe comments or ideas you would like to share with us, I will be coming to you with my microphone. And please be so kind and introduce yourself and also who you're with.
Hi, my name is Vlad and I'm from 1&1, and I have a question. What makes you different from other companies offering the same array of services in the end?
I mean, what I said is our focus is on a more service-oriented approach. Anybody else, doing the same offering the same is playing in our role. But what I wanted to say is take a closer look into that, because what you see today is mostly you buy domains at a very cheap price and you don't get more information about the additional service. Everybody who is able to offer you that service might be a good partner for you.
Okay, so I'm completely sold. I know the cost, so on, and my interest was why go to you instead of, I don't know, someone else. But if you are all the same, then
I mean, if you say you're from 1&1, maybe somebody wants a smaller company. Maybe that's a decision. I mean, it's at the end it has to do with other issues. I mean, where are you based? What is your portfolio? What are the people there? What is the reachability? I think these are all things that are associated with a decision process anyway. But I think, as you mentioned before, the other issues are often forgotten. And if you have several offers, I mean, it's lastly a decision you have to build on other things.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, Vlad. Anyone else who would like to ask something or share an idea or an opinion? If not, then I would like to ask you something. You mentioned that looking at the total cost of ownership is the thing to do. How much money can you save as a web hoster when you control the TCO, Christoph?
Well, if you take my example I put up with .no, and if you take the number of cases then that can happen with such instances, I mean, it can be once a month, it can be several times a month, and depending on the volume, it can be several hundreds to several thousands of euro a year you can just save by doing it. It depends, as I said, but I wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to spend money on things you normally don't see. But it can be lots of money, and very often it is forgotten to see that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me ask you something else. You spoke about managing customer-owned registry accreditations. Seriously, isn't that kind of, to the contrary regarding your core business as a registrar?
Not necessarily. As I mentioned before, lots of web hosting companies and ISPs, if they reach a certain number of domain names, they start to think, well, can I now get them directly? Or they want to become a registrar because of the renommee, because they in front of their clients, it's important that they take it from first hand and they are directly accredited. So it is important to their business, and so we say, okay, we can see the importance for you, but let us help you to do this business. So you don't have to invest time and money to do all the development and to do this thing, and use an existing system that is operated and maintained all the time, so you don't have to worry, and still you can have the benefit of becoming and being a registrar. So it's not controversial. So it's not.
Once again, you're welcome if you would like to ask a question or share some experiences with us, maybe. Then I have a final personal question.
Okay.
As an expert, in professional domain name management, tell me, do you think that domain prices will drop in the near future?
Well, there's a funny saying: every day you get a new idiot standing up in the morning, and this happens all the time. I think we will still see some price erosion, and we will also see some price declines based on price reductions from the registries. But if you look at the margins, I mean, they're getting closer and closer, and at some stage it's impossible to live as a middleman like a registrar very often is. So there will be a natural stop for that, and suddenly you won't get it cheaper. So I think my idea or my projection is that it'll still go on, but I think that the market will look more and more onto offerings like we do to see, you don't know, it's not only the price, it's the overall cost which is associated with it.
And it's not only the price, it's also the service, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to you for this presentation. Thanks for your attention. And I'm sure that everyone will come to see the magician, right? Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
It's worth. Thank you.